this guy is a tank. I'm going on a tangent here for some reason.
Chat. Sam,
the people must know.
Chat. Sam is in love with
know.
Isaac. Okay, they are in love with Isaac.
I mean, if you got abs like that, you can take me anywhere.
Hey yo.
Ryan, we are just that much closer to actual F1 racing. We finally finished up Preseason 2 testing, and that's what we're going to talk today about, the cool down rundown episode. And you know the drill is only one way to start, so let's get going, buddy.
You're goddamn right. Here you go, brother. Cheers.
Cool. Crispy.
Beautiful sounds. That's a fine beer.
It's a fine beer. I got myself a new supplier. The people down on the road next to me give me like shitty ass beer, so I've gone to a new supplier to give me good beer. Yeah, and I feel like, Ryan, there's certain teams getting new supplies of engines and it's not working out for them. New people get new supplies of wings. It is working out for them.
Damn right it is, especially the one behind you.
Yeah, turning heads.
Let's just dive right into it because I have been so excited to talk about this. It is officially the year of the horse, Sam. Chinese New Year just happened. It is the year of the horse. It is the year of Ferrari's return to dominance. I'm telling you,
that?
I feel it.
Because
of behind you.
Tell the fans who aren't watching and they're just listening.
There's a few things that happened over preseason testing. You know, Ferrari was already last week in round 1 of preseason testing. There was already like some talk about how good their engine could be at the start and everything. It could charge up quicker and all those things. And then this weekend, Sam, or this week, we saw from day 2 forward, Ferrari kind of cooked a little bit. And part of it was because of the image behind you, which is the rear wing to the Ferrari car. Now, we all know that the regulations changed. You have active aero now for the front and rear wing. You can lower it whenever you want at certain points. But what Ferrari decided to do was rotate the back wing 180 degrees and basically flip it completely upside down, which, I may add, the FIA has given their stamp of approval, and it is allowed for this season.
Approved.
Yes, and the whole idea here...
They get to the engines. I don't know.
We'll see. But the whole premise here about flipping it is there's more of a gap now for them, and it kind of creates a little bit of an uplift in the back of the car to where hopefully less drag, they can go further down the straight. Now, in that one or like that half-second spin, it is basically that rear wing is basically face flat on into the wind.
It's like a brake.
So I am curious to see what the benefits are to them. Like, is it advantageous of them for them to sacrifice that half a second opening and closing it compared to the openness that they're going to get for the down the straights? I am very curious to see that because I know right now Fred has also talked about how this is very exploratory. It's not a guarantee that they're going to use it the entire time. They just wanted to see how it would work and get some data on it. So who knows? We might not even see it until like halfway through the season or at all. But
that's true because they actually only ran it for 2 hours on the second day.
Yes,
and it didn't come back out for the third day.
But it broke the internet, man. The amount of people that were talking about it and be like, "This is the engine we've been waiting for in Formula One for years." And listen, I am excited that Ferrari is turning heads and grabbing attention again. But it's so funny to me that this is just such a simple idea. And the F1 community is just like, oh my God, this is next level. I mean, I'm one of them, don't get me wrong. But it is really silly to think about it in that aspect. So that was one aspect of Ferrari doing well. The other aspect coincides from last weekend and how they were so good at getting off the line. And they did 2 practice starts again this week. And I think this was also on Thursday. And in the second one they did with Lewis, he started P9, I believe, and before they got to turn 1, he passed everyone off the start to end up be P1. That car looks like a rocket ship at the start of a race. So whatever they figured out 18 months ago, I'm so happy they took the time to work it through and to see it fully realized, because it just seems like the other teams can't catch up right now for the start of the race. So I'm happy. I'm happy.
Well, I think what's really, I'm glad I can see you right now are in the cycle of the hopium of this year. 2026 is our year. We are so back. I cannot wait for Melbourne to start. Be like, well, maybe 2027.
Well, what the other aspect that we're all forgetting about here, myself included, is the other half of Ferrari's woes, which is always strategy. So give it time. Mm-hmm. The pain will return at some point.
I think time will definitely tell if this is the way things go. I saw a clip. It was 3 side-by-sides of Alpine's back window, rear wing, Red Bulls, and Ferraris, and the different approaches of all of them. And Alpine has their own little slightly little gap in their wing as well. Not like this, but they have something kind of cooking as well. And I think this is what's really funny is that in about 6 months from now, every team will have the same one. Or definitely by next year, they will find the best one and go with that from out. And I think, too, with your race starts, what is promising there, Ryan, is that I believe it was Ocon in the Haas car who also had a tremendous start. So that was 2 Ferrari cars, 2 Ferrari engines that did really, really well. And my thing about the race starts is I don't know how much people are taking that really seriously.
Yeah.
Like putting the pedal to the floor. And I have found out that Ferrari is known for doing the glory runs in preseason testing.
Oh, yeah.
They like to grab the headlines. They like to put the times in because I think Leclerc has the fastest time of the entire 2 races, right? 2 weekends?
Yeah. He had the fastest one. He got that on Friday. He beat out George's time from the week prior.
I was listening to the F1 post show, and I guess they didn't do any long pace scenarios. They did a lot of qualifying runs, but they didn't do any very long runs, race pace runs, like 40, 50, 60 laps altogether kind of a thing. So it'd be, because now we're starting to really ask the question of reliable. Well, I think this really goes into as a Ferrari fan's mindset, because there's a lot of people's I will say, when you first told me about like this is our year, my initial thought was like, it's Ferrari. They're gonna fuck it up. Just give it time, dude. But this wing scenario, their engines, their start off the line, they seem happy. Leclerc seems happy.
Lewis seems happy.
When's the last time you've seen both of these men smile?
Yeah.
You know? So I am well, if it was any other team doing this, it would make me ask questions. So and I think you're kind of a different fan than I am a little bit. You buy into the hopium. I buy into the despair, so I don't feel let down. Give me what's your percentages of Ferrari having a very successful year, and then tell me the percentages of your actual thoughts, and then the hopium behind it as well.
Okay, so you want me to be a little delulu first and give you the hopium answer, and then the realistic.
Yes, yeah. Hit me with that.
Hopium championship. We're winning it, Sam. We're winning it.
Sure. Okay.
But I'm telling you, and this happened last year. You had the images of Lewis at Ferrari. I was like, oh, we are so back. We are so ready. And then it was just a year of disappointment, right? But this year, the car seems okay. It might not be my favorite livery, but under the aesthetics of it, it might be a semi-functional car. That does give me some hope. On a more realistic hopium, I definitely think I could see both of the drivers winning a few races at least and maybe being top 3. I would be very happy with that. I think that would be very good progress. The fact that Lewis is very excited does give me some hope, especially for years of disappointment from him since 2021 through the woes of Mercedes, going to Ferrari, and then just having more despair. To actually see him have a little bit more of a positive take right now is really reassuring to me. Same with Charles, like you just said. When it comes to the realistic aspect, I mean, Sam, I'll be happy if they get one good race in. One win compared to last year is already an improvement in itself as a Ferrari fan, I feel like. But I'm feeding into the hopium right now because this is probably going to be the happiest I'm going to be all season. I might as well be a little delusional. Like I've always said, Ferrari fans are Cowboys fans. This is our year, and it'll be our year every year until proven otherwise.
Well, I think they're in a good spot, Ryan. I do, because they are the third most preseason running by a team is Ferrari with over 6,090 kilometers. Only Haas beat them, which is crazy. And then
Ferrari engines.
That's true. And then that makes them number 2 for total laps led by engines, being Ferrari. And I think Mercedes beat them out because I think they just have more teams running the Mercedes engine. So I think you're in a solid point. I think they are actually, if you would have asked me last weekend, Ryan, who was our top 4, I would have said Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren in that order. And then now I'm saying Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren. That's how I think it's looking.
Yeah.
I've heard some great things about Mercedes, man. That's, how we talked about this last week. We talked about how it's usually about rumors of what people are saying, more what the feel is on the track. To me, that is what has come out with these 2 preseason testing, is that Mercedes looks, I think Ferrari's taking the headlines, but I think it's Mercedes are the ones that are actually peacocking.
Well, yeah, I mean, as we said last week, everyone is sandbagging, but I feel like Mercedes is sandbagging the most right now. I think they're really trying to downplay how good they actually are, and we're going to see in Melbourne. They're a different animal. I feel like they're going to come out swinging. I mean, you already have Kimi already practicing his missile bombs on drivers.
Yeah.
So he's getting ready for war already. So I think they know what type of monster they have under the hood for that Mercedes car. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think Mercedes looks the best.
It's funny how they've started going a little bit faster once the engines got approved for at least halfway through the season, because I'm pretty sure that vote is going to happen, but it's not going to happen until the summer break. So they are clear to run those the way Mercedes runs their engines. They are, give the pass. To me, that's all above board. They found a good loophole. I think you should be rewarded with your loopholes. It's innovation.
I agree.
And I think they let it out day one. They did some fantastic stuff. So I definitely think this is a Mercedes year. I think Red Bulls are there possibly with deployment. Seems to be and we don't know how these races are going to happen, right? Because if Mercedes just seem like the strong overall package, that tells you they're good. Ferrari might have the best starts of anybody and a really cool, tricky active aero stuff. And Red Bull just might have the longer term deployment of their battery. So it is kind of a hodgepodge of who's where, but I think as long as we can get some passing, I think we're in for an interesting season opener for sure.
I am very excited just because there is so many questions of all right, who actually is going to dominate? Who's going to be the winner at the end of the season? Who innovated the most? What brought them there? Who had the best strategy? I think I think Red Bull in itself is still going to have some of the best strategy in the game.
Hannah Smith, man, you can't beat her. You cannot eat the queen.
I agree, and I think that car might not be the best on the grid, but that team is arguably the best on the grid in my mind when it comes to a lot of different aspects and components. You have a great fucking driver and Max Verstappen. You have Isaac going his first year there for Red Bull now, so that's exciting. And like I said, the great strategy. So I'm not counting Red Bull out by any means. I think it's all on the table for everyone right now, at least for the top 4.
We did find out that Max Verstappen is top 3 in the outright betting by a certain sports book.
And what about our current world's driver champion? Where is he on the bet list there for being champion again?
Lando Norris is 6th for outright championship. Yes, he's behind both Mercedes, both Ferraris, and he's behind one Max Verstappen in the sports book.
This
is coming from Vegas.
That's crazy.
It is. And this comes from McLaren just being a customer team. This is what happens when you just buy your engines and you're not designing your car. You don't know the exact data. You get it around the same time everybody else does. And Mercedes is the one who's been tweaking it, And McLaren is going to have that same, they're going to have the advantages that Mercedes has, but they had to squeeze it into their car, whereas Mercedes just had. It's just the difference between a constructor and a purchaser. But we saw last year that McLaren can design a great aero package around it. You just got to give them time. So maybe by the end of the season, maybe by next year. But this is the detriment of not building your own. And so it's very impressive that Red Bull this is the first year that they are building their engines with Ford, but they're building them together.
I wanted to say it is so crazy just seeing Ford sponsorship and just Ford logos on the Red Bull and Racing Bull cars. It's so crazy.
Hell yeah, brother.
F1 is being invaded by American propaganda now.
Yeah, we slowly got in there with Haas, and then we were inching in there with Ford and Cadillac, Caddy. Somebody else that should be a little praised here, real quick, is that Audi also building their own engine.
I believe so. Yeah.
So for them to get out, like they're not the best by any means, but they're doing fine. Like they're doing okay. You know, they're where they probably should be, a little on the lower end.
Yeah.
And Cadillac is just happy to be there. But hey, they get a free. I think Julian Palmer says that they get a free pass for like 6 races, and I think that's honestly very fair for them, for Cadillac to get up to speed. Yeah,
I agree. Let's talk about some of the losers of preseason testing, especially for round 2. And I think I want to start right off with our poor boys at Aston Martin. Is Aston Martin in trouble, Sam?
If you are an Aston Martin fan or an Alonso fan, you're in a world of hurt this entire year. They are fat, over encumbered. Their engine ain't working. You got one team boss in the Epstein files, and his son can't drive the car. And then you got Alonso not able to do anything. And they didn't even compete. They didn't even go out the third day, Ryan. They didn't even get any testing.
I thought they got 6 laps on the third day. I thought that was it.
Sure, 6 laps, not even time laps. They did not even do like a fast lap. They had to cut it short. Cut it short.
But Sam, they have Newey. They have the greatest mind in Formula One history building that car. Surely it's going to be fine, minus the transmission blowing up every 3 seconds.
Yeah. Again, this is what happens when you buy an engine and you have to squeeze it out into your car, because I think what's happening with Aston Martin is it's their gearbox. They're just like, their gearbox is not playing well with the engine, and they got to get their shit together. And they're the only team running the Honda engine, and they're not getting any data on the field, man. They gotten the least amount of running in. They are in a world of hort, Ryan. Hort.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very long, laborious season for Aston Martin, unfortunately. If I was to make some early predictions, I think they're going to be damn near the bottom, for a long time at least. It might take until the summer break for that team to turn it around a little bit, but maybe I'm counting them out too early. Quote me if you want, chat, but it does not look pretty for Aston Martin right now. And I feel bad for Alonso, but he seems to be he doesn't seem to be that upset, or he's just really good at hiding it right now, which kind of surprises me.
I think he's just doing the Alex Jones. I live for the pain. Like, he's just, he's bought in, man. You know, for those who don't know, Alonso's already had a pretty bad relationship with Honda engines in the past. He was there with McLaren when McLaren was running the Honda engines, and they were absolute ass, man. And Alonso made his feelings known to the world, and it seemed like the stars were aligned for this team, Ryan. Honda, Newey, Alonso, money. You know, you got all these things, and it's just not. It's not meshing, and I think it just goes to show you how kind of difficult the sport. You can buy everything, man. But if it doesn't work out together, you're in a world of hurt, and I think they are. Yeah.
Sometimes money can't buy everything, and I think this is a clear example. I think it could buy a lot. I think you could get some great tools, but it doesn't mean you're going to automatically be a title contender just from throwing as much money as you can into it and hoping it sticks.
Yeah.
So yeah, but hey, it's a pretty looking car on track, and it looks different from the rest.
It was number 1. It was my number 1. But yeah, it's number 1 that's going to look real bad in the back. Real bad in the back, Ryan.
Yeah, that's okay. Were there any other losers in your mind for preseason?
Williams, just a little bit. I think they're still trying to get that car down to weight. I think they might have just now gotten to it. Limited lap times. They did not make it down to the shakedown. It's kind of a shame, because Williams has really been these last 3 years saying that 2026 is their year. Like, this is the year we're striving for. And maybe they got a little bit too ambitious, and it's just not working out for them. And they had a very solid year last year, so they might be right there in the back too, man. Like, I think it might be for our bottom 3, Aston Martin, Williams, and Cadillac for sure.
That's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting, especially like you said with what Williams being so good last season. I really hope it's not for them because I really like seeing the progress that James Vowles has done for that team, and just to see Carlos there and to see Alex Albon there and them do pretty well as a team together. I hope that we are wrong about this, but the evidence right now is not promising.
Yeah. Maybe give him some time to get the car hooked up. Maybe it can work out in the end. But yeah. Other than that, Alpine looks pretty solid midfield team.
Yeah,
considering they were last year, but they seem to be pretty. They seem like a solid team, middle of the field, which is like a huge jump up from being 10th last time. Right there with Haas, best of the rest at the moment. And
I'm excited to see those two duke it out a little bit. I think those two Racing Bulls, I think we're in for a good little battle in the midfield this season with that trio of cars.
Yeah. I think Racing Bulls is now officially, to me, Ryan, the team I kind of don't care about the most. Because because they're just not there to win, And that was, to me, that was what Kick Sauber was. It's what Sauber was. A little bit of Haas, but now that they made some improvements, it's nice to see. But there's just certain teams out there that are just there to compete and not there to turn heads. And I think, because Racing Bulls is an official sister team of another of the Red Bulls, and they're like the junior team, they're just not. I don't expect anything from them, and they will never get the same attention from the other team. So they're just never going to be in the competition. So at least we have Audi trying something new, fully German. We got Cadillac trying their ass off. Alpine they're hemorrhaging money left and right, and they might have improved. So I think all these other teams have, really stepped up in certain aspects, but it's Racing Bulls. We know what they are. They're not there.
Yeah, I think that is the problem of having technically a sister team like that on the grid, and it's something that has never sat right with me about that whole team. Racing Bulls, Toro Rosso, whatever you want to call it. So many iterations of that team name. It makes it for not it's a lackluster team in a lot of ways. It's a pipeline for getting drivers eventually onto the main Red Bull team, and I get that, but that in my mind that's also that's what Formula 2 is for. So that is just that's an issue that I do have with that team. Pretty car, don't mind the drivers, but there's just not much there for me.
It was number one. Actually, no, I forgot. It was my number one.
I was waiting to see if you were going to remember.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot. My bad.
How dare you disrespect?
Well, my top two cars are either burning up in the back or not there to play. So
at least my pick for a best looking car might also be at the front of the grid every weekend.
That is true. That makes it sexier by default. Not gonna lie.
Hey, see, you hear that, chat? We know who the real winner here is. Me. So we've talked about teams, Sam. I want to talk a little bit about drivers and just how they're all feeling. We've heard some drivers talk about how excited they are for the season. Sometimes they're like, these fucking regulations suck. It's going to be a fucking horrible time. These are not workable cars. We've heard that a lot from past drivers champions, i.e. Fernando Alonso. We've heard it a little bit from Lewis, just about the whole aspect, not the Ferrari specific, but just the iteration of this cycle, right? We've heard it from Max Verstappen. We've also kind of heard it from Lando.
Oh yeah.
What are your thoughts on everyone talking about it? I know you've been very excited about this.
We definitely got some thoughts going, Ryan, and I'm glad you brought this up. And I'm gonna need another beer for this one.
Right there with you,
because Lando Norris, some people thought this man was going to mature after his championship and kind of get into the swing of things and really take the weight, onto his shoulders and take this a little bit more seriously. And I think a lot of people like the charm of the young, immature Lando. But guess what? You're a champion now. He's a man, and he's pissing me off, Ryan. He's pissing me off. Okay, he's doing some petty ass bullshit that I would see in high school. It would piss me off then, and it's pissing me off now. So Max Verstappen, so Max comes in there and says that he does not like the cars. He said it with his full chest. He says it's Formula E on steroids. And then Lando Norris goes on there, goes in relationship in response to this. I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, if he wants to retire, he can retire. Formula One changes all the time. Sometimes it's a bit better to drive. Sometimes it's not as good. But yeah, we get paid a stupid amount of money to drive, so you can't really complain at the end of the day. Any driver can go and find something else to do. It's not like he has to be here or any driver has to be here, which is like the most corporate chill thing you can say. It's just like, well, we're getting paid, so our opinions don't matter. Like, come on, Lando. You're a champion now. Like, your opinion actually does matter.
Yes.
Max's opinion, Lewis's opinion holds sway.
Well, like, here's the part I'm not as upset as you are, but the one moment that really did irk me with Lando, and I believe it was this weekend, Charles was talking about the cars, and Charles was toting a certain line, but he was also being very disgruntled and being like, these cars are not what they used to be. This is a whole different ball game for all of us. It just doesn't seem like we're going to have any fun with it. It's going to be hard to overtake. And in that same room, you see Lando over there giving the thumbs up as like a nod of approval, but not actually saying it because he is still too scared to defy Zach and to defy McLaren. And I do agree with you with my whole heart, Sam, that if you are a driver's champion, it does not matter what the team thinks and wants you to do at times. Like, you should still be a team player, but you are allowed to give your whole honest opinion the entire time. Yes, you've done it. You are a champion. No one can take that away from you, Lando. McLaren will
Your
never.
Stock has risen.
Yeah, the McLaren will never take you from that seat because you decide to give your opinion about the new cars. Mm-hmm. But he's acting like he still needs to appease mommy and daddy, and that is just very frustrating to see as just a Formula One fan. Like, especially as the newest driver's champion, I would love to see a more honest opinion about the whole thing from him. But he's just hiding behind mommy and daddy and McLaren and just trying not to piss anyone off. Piss some people off, Lando. You piss us off plenty, so come on.
Listen, what he said already earlier, what I just kind of went off on my tangent, isn't the part that pissed me off, Ryan. It's what happened, because that happened week 1. It's what happened at week 2 that really got under my skin.
Oh, God,
he said, he goes, I actually agree with what a lot of drivers have been saying here about what the car's on. I actually agree with
Oh, yeah. I saw that, too.
I just wanted to say that and see what the reaction was of everyone. What? I just wanted to see what would happen if I spouted bullshit out, I just wanted to poke the bear. To me, it's so immature, Ryan. It's either immature. He truly believes that. I just wanted to see everybody's reaction. It's funny. It's cute. I actually agree with Max, Lewis, Alonso, Leclerc, because these are like my, teammates. Or he's backtracking the fuck out of what he said. Because he either agreed, his original thought was what he thought, and he's like, no, oh fuck, everybody else doesn't like the cars. It's actually cool to like it's cool to dislike these cars, and he backtracks. So either say it with your chest, grow up. It just grow up. And
well, I will say, Sam,
just starting the season, and I just wish he would just.
One aspect of that, though, feels very much like a George Russell comment, like just trying to stir the pot to stir the pot.
Yeah. And George had a great comment. Last weekend. He said Max can go drive the Nordschleife. He doesn't want to be here. George had a perfect, that's George branded shit stirrer.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I don't see George walking back what he puts out into the press.
That's true. I was referring to the whole time whenever when George was busting Lando's balls last year to the media, and then they had that interaction. He was just like, "I'm just fucking with you, dude." But that's not what Lando did with this. He went to the press and backtracked his words. So I do see what you're saying there.
No,
yeah,
you know what? Oh, I got more to say on George because George, he actually said some very funny things last week as well. We didn't go over this, but he said. In kind of a response to this stuff going on with Max's disapproval, because that was the big talking point last week. Max doesn't like the cars. Lando goes, who gives a fuck what he likes? He can retire. Paraphrasing. George goes,
not an official quote.
Not an official quote, but that's what he meant. George said, as with anything in life, you can't tick every single box and there's more at stakes. When these regulations came into play, there's obviously a huge push on EVs from the EU. That was a big part for the likes of Audi to come in. So there's got to be a consideration. Basically, George is throwing the FIA under the bus to saying the reason why we're in the position we are in with these EV cars is to appeal to the EU and get Audi into the sport. He said that with his chest, that the only reason why Audi's here is because we are at these cars are 50% battery and 50% engine. They could have gone V10s. They could have gone the muscle car. They could have changed the route, but that would not have been good for sponsors, and that would have not have been good for Audi.
Because
so like George
every
is
manufacturer is saying EVs are the future when we are realizing this is a horrible fucking idea to begin with. But
as we go to Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and drive on these oil fields of countries built on, I'm not gonna say it, built on taking the oil from the planet. So George is out there. George is saying stuff with his chest, being like, this is why we're in the boat we're in. Whereas Lando is just being a whiny teenager. And that's the persona I get from Lando. And I want to like him. But God damn it, he makes it hard.
Speaking of George, though, I want to just bring this up. Man, I hope we get to see. I truly do. I hope we get to see George win a championship because
it's the year. It's this year, buddy.
The
year of the
and
champion.
antics. The ego and antics of George Russell as a non-champion is already great as it is.
Dude.
Him as a champion,
yes.
Put it all on black, baby. He's going to fucking eat it, and he's going to be feasting every day. Yeah, but I disagree with you. It's the year of the horse, Sam. Don't forget that. Don't disrespect Ferrari like that. How dare you?
I want to know before we wrap this up, where do you think you can vote with your heart or with your brain? Loosely, who do you think is your champion for the year?
I'll give you two answers.
Lewis and Leclerc.
Three answers.
Okay.
With my heart, Sam, it is Charles. It's
okay.
a Ferrari. With my heart, it's a Ferrari driver, whether it is Charles or it is Lewis. And I would put preference on Charles on that. But if Lewis wins his 8th with Ferrari, I ain't complaining.
Sure.
My brain tells me it's George. I do see this might be the year George does it. I think they have a great car. I think he has matured as a driver. I think this might be the year he finally whips out the knife and gets his hands dirty, even more so than he already has in the past, to claim what's rightfully his. I could see it. Yeah. What about you? Tell me with your heart and brain.
Well, I'll go with my brain first, and I agree. I think it's George Russell's year. I think Mercedes looks strong, man. They looked cocky. They just look good. They look good, and I think if they have this engine leg up on everybody for the first 6 months, for the first half of the year, they might have a really good, clean takeaway. I don't know. We don't know how much that compression is really going to play in it, but I do think it's Mercedes' year, and between the two of them, it's George. Now, my heart says that Kimmy's going to get in there and be scrappy and learn. Kimmy's going to bring it to George.
Kimmy,
they crash too much,
okay.
and Max Verstappen wins the championship and picks up the pieces. That's
okay. Okay. I thought you were going to say Kimmy all the way. I was like, damn.
No, I would like to. Kimmy, Kimmy has a lot to learn, but maybe he learned last year. Maybe that his rookie year, he got those flukes out. He was a little too ambitious, a little too overeager. He's got the pace, though. When he's fast, he's fast. But I think George has the smarter head. George is a clever driver, and I think we should do this when we really get into our predictions. George is really willing to take risks to win. He's liking those alternative strategies. So yeah, I think it's George. But yeah, I'm excited. Right, we are just 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away to Australia, and
we're gonna be talking about how excited we are that Charles or Lewis has won Melbourne, and it is the year of the horse, Sam. I am so excited for the recap, and we are talking about Ferrari dominance. They are winning every race this season. You heard it here first, folks.
Well, I can't wait. We have one season of Drive to Survive in between that's going to keep us busy. I think we're going to get an episode or two out for our fans with some of our viewpoints on it. I don't know if you saw from the teaser trailer. We got a George Russell shirtless scene coming up. because he likes to show off his abs. But I tell you what, Isaac Hadjar is fucking ripped. I don't know if you saw that teaser. He is a tank.
I'm going in completely blind. I didn't want any teasers.
Go watch the last 6 seconds. I'll just send you the screenshot of Isaac Hadjar's abs. I'll put it in the podcast. This guy is a tank. I'm going on a tangent here for some reason.
Chat. Sam
people must know.
Chat. Sam is in love with Isaac. Okay, they are in love with Isaac.
I mean, if you got abs like that, you can take me anywhere.
Hey,
but I can't wait, Ryan. All right, buddy. I'll see you then.